Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you're here, and today I'm going to be making a video about the preview of the finals of the Western and Southern Tennis Open from Cincinnati in Ohio. They're both one ATP 1000 event and a WTA 1000 event, and we're seeing some fantastic tennis this past week, and it all comes to a conclusion today in the finals. So yesterday we had the semi-finals, and what two semi-finals it was. It was fantastic both on the men's and the women's side. And we saw some very tight matches, and we saw some compelling tennis, I believe. So resurgence of a tennis career in the making, and also very tight at the top of the men's rankings, as we can see from the results. So let's start off with the men's, and the first match was Borna Coric from Croatia up against Norrie from UK, and this was a really interesting match because Norrie got off to a good start. Coric wasn't really in the game in this beginning, but he started to find his range, and it wasn't too long in the first set that he started to unleash some compelling winners from all over the back of the court, and he just dominated Norrie from there on in. Really, it was a masterclass, and this is a guy who's got a ranking of 152 in the world at the moment. He got in on a protected ranking into this tournament, and he could possibly go all the way in winning this tournament. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but Coric's win over Norrie was substantial, and he played really well. Norrie's had a fantastic year this year, inside the top 10 and making his presence felt really at every tournament he plays, and he's a hard character to beat. Very physical. He likes to wear his opponents down, but Coric wasn't having any of this, and Borna Coric has got into his first ATP 1000 final for a long time. So his win was 6-3, 6-4 over Norrie, and he was the first one to get into today's final. On the other side of the men's draw, we saw Greek Stefanos Tsitsipas play Daniil Medvedev, and this was always going to be a tight match in my book anyway. I thought these two guys were going to take it to each other, and it was Tsitsipas who came out on top in the end, 7-6, 3-6, 6-3. That first set tiebreaker was very close, and it could have gone either way. Medvedev unfortunately hit the last point of that tiebreaker into the net and gifted, I think, Tsitsipas that first set, but it was a tight match in that first set, and I think that first set really determined the outcome. Medvedev played much better in the second set, taking that set 6-3, but Tsitsipas found his range again in the third set. And what I liked in this match from Tsitsipas was his ability to outthink Medvedev when it came to strategic plan. So after losing that second set, he was able to get his game back on track again and do really well in that third set. So Tsitsipas through to his final, and up against Borna Coric from Croatia. It's going to be a really exciting final, that final, and my heart tells me Coric's going to win, but my gut tells me that Tsitsipas is going to have too much. I don't think Coric is going to have the same time against Tsitsipas as he had against Norrie in the semi-final. I think Tsitsipas is going to rush him a little bit more. Therefore, those winners that we saw from Coric in the semi-final against Norrie are going to be a little bit less, and therefore he's going to have to push it a bit more against Tsitsipas. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Coric gets it in the end. It'll be a fantastic thing for tennis. It'll be a fantastic thing for his career, and what a way to set yourself up to go into the US Open coming up in a few days time. So it will be fantastic. So let's see, who do you think is going to win that men's final today? Love to hear from you. Now on the women's side, we had as interesting matches going on there as well. We had Caroline Garcia from France up against Sablenka, and this was a really interesting match. Garcia has come into this tournament as a qualifier, and she's got all the way through to the semi-finals as a qualifier. So up until this game, she'd been playing some really fantastic tennis, perhaps the best tennis of her career so far, and currently ranked 35 in the world. And it was great to see her taking on Sablenka. Sablenka is one of those players that can run hot and cold, particularly around the serve. We've seen her serve break down on a number of occasions when the pressure goes on, and I thought this was also going to be the way that Garcia might be able to get on top in this match. It ended up going to Garcia in three sets, 6-2, 4-6, 6-1. And again, Garcia showed the ability here after losing the second set to come back and strategically change her game enough to dominate in that third set and to run away with it basically in with 6 games to 1. So a fantastic tournament so far from Caroline Garcia from France. She's got through to her first final in I think in about 4 or 5 years at the WTA level, so that's a fantastic run for her. Again, we're so close now to the United States Open. This is going to give her a lot of confidence, win or lose in the final, I'm sure. But I'm sure the way she's playing, she's going to be very, very tough to beat in the final today. And who is she up against? Well, the other semi-final was between Madison Keys and Petra Kvitova, and this was a tough one to call. And Madison Keys won the first set of this match, and she looked really good. She was playing some really dominating tennis from the back of the court, but moving Petra around a lot, and Petra wasn't able to deal with that. But Petra did come back and win a tight second set, 6-4, and then she went on to win it quite comfortably in 6-3 in the third set. So Kvitova, sorry about her pronunciation, is through to another final. It's her 40th WTA final, so a fantastic career that she's still having. And again, she's starting to come into a run of form that's going to see her do very, very well at the US Open, I'm sure. So there we go. We've got some mouth-watering finals coming up today in Cincinnati at the Western and Southern Open. Who's your pick? The men, we've got Tsitsipas against Coric, and in the women, Kvitova against Garcia. 2 really, really good clashes there. So there we go. There's my preview of the final. I think Garcia is going to get up and win this one. I'm hoping that she gets up and win it. And I think that Tsitsipas is going to have a little bit too much for Coric. It's going to go 3 sets. It's going to be close, but I think Tsitsipas is going to get there in the end. Let me know who you think is going to win the matches today, and I look forward to doing a review after the finals when they're played later on today. Thanks very much for following my channel. Don't forget to hit the little subscribe button and send us a comment or a like, and I'll be back again soon with another video about sports events and news from around the world. Until then, stay safe everyone.